Hello and welcome back. Have you got a Braun Oral-B electric toothbrush, or thinking about buying one maybe? If you own one of these, they need charging. There's one of two things you're going to do. You're either going to store the charging base in a drawer and use it as and when the toothbrush needs charging, or like me, you're going to have it permanently mounted and connected to a shaver socket. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a product that will help you replace the standard shaver socket, that will help make your bathroom cable free, and your toothbrush will always be charged and ready to go. Welcome to All the Gear, No Idea. Here in the UK, we've lived with a shaver socket that I think is just plain odd. It invariably looks like this. It can come in different finishes, maybe different shapes, but essentially it looks like this with two sockets. One is 240 volts and the other one is 110 volts. To add to the annoyance, the 110 volt socket here is actually smaller than the 240 volts for obvious safety reasons. But if you had an appliance that supported 110 volts to 240 volts, you would not be plugging it in there. So it's completely redundant. That said, when your friends visit you from 20% of the countries with their 110 volt appliances, you'll be safe in the knowledge that they'll be plugging in here. Yeah, it's not happening, is it? It's time to replace the standard shaver socket with something more practical. I stumbled on this recently because I've also bought a WaterPik water flosser. And guess what? It needs 240 volts. So now I have a toothbrush charger and a water flosser, both competing for the one and only 240 volt socket. I spent about a week alternating between the cables and unplugging one, plugging the other one in, and you can guess what happened is the toothbrush is not charged for several days because I forgot to switch the cables. I thought, there must be double 240 volt shaver sockets out there. Surely there must be. So I started surfing. So I searched for dual 240 volt shaver sockets and I got the same results back. Different finishes, different shapes, but essentially all the same as the standard shaver socket. One socket at 110 volts and one at 240 volts. But in my searches, I came across something different. The ProofVision Toothbrush charger and a 240 volt shaver socket. So I ordered mine from TLC Electrical Services, and for £47 including next day delivery, I got it next day. This replacement shaver socket is designed to be a direct replacement for your existing shaver socket. It comes as standard with a white faceplate, but three others are also available as black steel, brush steel and polished steel. There are also three variants of the charger. Just the single standard charger, a charger plus 240 volt shaver socket, the one I bought, and a dual toothbrush charger. The box contents include an instruction booklet, the charging plate and the standard default white plastic faceplate. A set of screws is also included, although you may need longer ones depending on your installation, especially if your current socket is mounted on tiles. The toothbrush charger contains the standard holes, top and bottom, for the screws to attach to the back box, the charger base and the 240 volt shaver socket. On the rear you have the live and neutral connectors at the bottom and the earth at the top right. In a standard shaver socket installation, where you have one of these, you'll have what sits behind it is called a backbox, an electrical backbox. This is a standard 35mm backbox, and as you can see, this easily accommodates the standard shaver socket. However, with the new shaver socket and toothbrush charger, you will need a depth of 47mm. So whilst these boxes come in a standard 47mm configuration, you just need to check that from the surface of the tile to the back of the metal box is at least 47 millimeters for this to fit. In terms of dimensions, this is 162 millimeters high and 89 millimeters wide. So I've checked that my back box is at least 47 millimeters deep from the surface of the tile, so let's go ahead and install it. For this, all we'll need is a flat head screwdriver. That is the only tool that you'll need. First of all, make sure you flip the breaker to turn off the electrics to the shaver socket. As a special precaution, check that the electrics have been turned off by checking whether your toothbrush charges when plugged into the shaver socket. If it doesn't charge, the electrics are off. If you're not 100% confident about these steps, then please consult an electrician to help you. The first thing to do is undo the two screws top and bottom using the flat bladed screwdriver. And when you remove these screws, set them aside later because you'll probably reuse them to mount the new toothbrush charger. Here we have the live brown wire, the green and yellow earth, and the blue neutral wire. Let's undo these. With the new toothbrush charger, we got the live on the left and the neutral on the right, and we've got the earth at the top here. Let's get the live brown into the left-hand connector. Screw that in tightly. Then the neutral blue wire into the other bottom connector. And then finally, we need to get the earth connector with the green and yellow sleeving and connect that to the top connector. Mount the plate back into the hole. Use the existing screws that we removed from the previous shaver socket. So once secured, the next thing we have to do is mount the faceplate, and this will cover up these mounting screws. The way this works is you just push it on and push it hard top to bottom, and it just clips on. Place the toothbrush back on the charger, flip the breaker switch so the electrics come on, and you should see the toothbrush charging. Now I need to plug in my water flosser. Remember what that looked like beforehand? Now it looks like this, much neater. The ProofVision Toothbrush charger is great in that it makes any bathroom look tidy and neat and cable free. Hopefully I've shown you how quick and easy it is to install as well. If you've got any questions about the product or indeed the installation process, then please drop me a comment below. Please subscribe as it helps me gauge interest and provide any feedback through the comments. As always, thank you for watching. See you again soon.